guys, Allie again. I wanted to go through and try to find a picture that I had did the before and after of for the blown out exposure. Here's all my stuff going on here. Okay. So first things first is you want to shoot raw. I took this and I used a Canon 60 and I shot it raw. And I was messing around with my light, so as you can see it got better as we went along, but somehow from here to there, I'm not sure what happened. And I'm not even sure what that looks like on reset. So yeah, somehow it went from good light to, oh, it's because my aperture was 7.1 and I went to 1.8 to see what it would look like. And it blew it out. So let's go here. Let's make this bigger. And let's talk about blown out pictures. First of all, let's talk about how you gotta learn your settings. I mean, obviously, I was like, oh shit, I went too low my aperture while my light was still up. So, way too much light got in, and I overexposed hardcore. Um, excuse the ums. Anyways, so looking at this picture, I was like, oh, I really, really love it, but it's totally blown out. So I cropped it, and I looked at it, and I was like, okay, let's see what we can do. So all I did was bring the exposure down, and honestly, that was it. I mean, her skin's a little bit different colored, and it's not perfect, obviously, but I'm more than happy to have saved it. That's all I really did is brought the exposure down, brought my highlights down. Um, you can pump your shadows or bring your shadows in to give it a little bit more of something, a little bit more interesting feel. And uh, how I had edited it is I had just used some Lightroom presets that I have that were matte, and I'm not sure exactly what I did, but it was like an ad drama in a matte and something along those lines, mega matte and something else, mega vignette, and then it was still a little bit bright, so I brought all that back down. I can't edit exactly how I had it before, but you get the gist of it. And then I took it into Photoshop, and I just took away this little thing right here, and I tried to smooth and take the color from her lids. But, I mean, you have before and after, and that's even if you want to look at the artistic capabilities of it. This is basically before and after. And, yeah. I hope you learned something. I imagine that you can do the same thing with Camera Raw. I imagine you can do the same thing with Photoshop, but I'm not entirely sure. Unless you're using, like, you're editing as a smart object, you're editing the raw file. So I'd say to stick with Lightroom or Camera Raw. Okay, thanks. Bye.